Adscast, EP9. Yo, welcome back to the 9th episode of the Adscast. That's a lot, right? It's close to 10, which just means that I know how to count. That's not the best way to start up an episode. Hi, it's me, your friendly neighborhood. I don't really want to use a word to describe myself. Hi, it's me, Adrien. Welcome back to Adscast. It's been an emotional week. It's been, well, I guess I'm gonna talk more about these things in the next segment. But so that happened. Quick thing before starting, this week's episode might not have a video version. Again, sorry, it's not because this time I didn't have a camera. It's because I sent my MacBook to be repaired and I sent my laptop. You know the thing when you buy a fucking Apple product and you stop calling it you don't call it a phone, you don't call it a laptop, you call it by its technical term. Not even technical term, but the commercial thing. I'm sorry, I should never have said that. I sent my laptop for repair, and just to prove how much of an idiot I am, I'm gonna share a bit of insight with you. So the issue that I had with that laptop, because it's a laptop before anything else, that I got in I think December last year. It's not even that old, right? It's a recent model that I got recently, and I noticed that my camera wasn't really good. Like I would FaceTime people or I would be on Zoom or whatever you use, and it was very pixelated or just grainy, and it was bad. It was downright bad. And I was saying that to my sister, and she was saying, well, why do you care? Just a webcam. I'm like, for the price that you pay these things, you want everything to work, right? Like, since I'm gonna be into capitalism anyway, I want the good capitalism. No, there's no such thing as a good capitalism, but I want to get my money's worth. So I sent the thing to get repaired, and while I'm packing it up to get it sent to the technician, dude. And this is gonna be a proof of me being a dude. The next thing is gonna be a proof of me just being a guy. I'm just a man, after all. So what happened was that I put it in the pouch, but I had a lot of stuff to carry because I had a shoot to go to. So I packed a lot of stuff, and I was in my room and I had to go downstairs to at least put it downstairs and then come back up to pick, no, not to pick some of the stuff, to I think go get ready. And I decided to take all of it at once and that I wouldn't do more than one trip. Yeah, I'm just a dude. I'm just a man, because doing more than one trip goes beyond my capabilities. My brain just didn't comprehend doing this. So, as an imbecile, I did it. I picked so in my hands, so there was like a camera in its bag, there was like a tripod under an arm, there was like a green screen, like the la toile, how do you say that? The fabric in another hand, plus the stand for the green screen, and my laptop in its pouch, thankfully in its pouch, which is not a hard case pouch, it's like, like cloth. So, it's made to prevent it from like rain. So that was on the view of the arm, and I go downstairs, and I'm just proving how much of an idiot I am. So I'm putting everything down. It's not really putting it down. It's like dropping things on the couch, and the Mac slides from underneath my arm, bounces on a pillow that was on, these pillows on couches. I don't know. I don't think we call them pillows, but you know what I mean. Bounces on one of these and goes to the ground. Doesn't even go flat to the ground. It goes on a corner. So as soon as and the thing is solid metal, right? So I wish that the floor took a hit instead of it, but it didn't break anything. It just put a dent on one of the corners. Oh man, how I wish it just fell flat. But it just put a dent on the corner, and I I'm so sad. I have dropped my phone, for example, like in very silly ways, but I don't really break things. I have my current phone plus my last two phones are still very operational in my room. I don't use them, but just here because it's a testament of me keeping stuff well. And they're expensive, so yeah, you don't just throw these things away. So it sucks. It sucks. I hate it now. It's a small dent, and everyone I'm saying it to, I'm like, it's your first dent. Welcome to the club. I'm like, holy shit. How is people? How is people? How is people? How are people so used to this? Particularly with Apple products. I hate it because it looks so nice. I would just hug that laptop. It was like space grab. I'm gonna stop because I sound like a whiny little rich kid, which is nothing of what I am. I hope. So I'm just gonna stop on this because we have to move on. So basically, I just had to get my laptop checked for a freaking webcam, but I don't even use that much. Yeah, I have to add that. I know that it's kind of freaking bad because the quality compared to my friends who have like older MacBooks, which are like Pro and Air, like from way back, have a way better camera quality. So there's definitely something there. But I just needed to get a fucking webcam checked. You know what I'm hoping right now is that actually, I don't know if it's fine that we can't do anything about this, and so they have to give me another. Please, I'll start believing in God if that happens. Anyways, why I'm not recording is because the Mac is still under diagnosis. I don't know how much freaking time it takes to just be like, yeah, webcam bad. I don't know how long that takes to do that, but that's that. And that being that, I would like to say sorry if you don't get to see me. I don't know if I'm going to get to even edit something to put it on YouTube. I'm going to try and find a way to put a video on YouTube so that you have access to it on YouTube if you don't have Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which I know that saying this now is kind of redundant to wherever you can access it, because if you can hear this, you have access to it. Else, you won't hear. I'm all over the place because that don't hurt me. It's not even big. But when something's as polished as that, why can't they just make laptops in plastic? Why can't? Oh yeah, the price. Can't sell it for that much, I guess. That's that for the intro. Thanks once again for tuning in. I think that's something you say at the end of an episode. Thanks for joining us for yet another Adscast episode. Because now it's time for me to welcome you to Adscast. Adscast. So that happened. And welcome back to Adscast. Welcome back to the first segment of this episode. So I'm gonna lean back in my chair because I'm not comfortable right now. That's better. So welcome back. I need to get like a proper. I need to get a proper set to start with. I will in time. Sign up for my Patreon. You will help with that. You can consume it for free. It's all right. I just have to, as a proper like YouTuber, content creator, to plug my shit in at some point. Two things I wanted to talk about this week. So, as everyone who is not a Liverpool fan would have known, Liverpool lost the Champions League final. I'm saying that because I've realized that, I've known that for a bit, but like, we are just the club that everyone hates. I know people like saying stuff like, United was the most hated club on earth, because like we had the success for so long. Yeah, you've never been as hated as Liverpool. Like, people would rather see us lose more than see their team win. And we have this season won more cups than everyone but Chelsea. We at least came back home with 2, and we had a magnificent parade. And the point of this is that, yeah, I'm sad that we lost. But I don't feel as sad, if you know what I mean. It's like the unity and everything behind this club. Like, we tried our best, and I love that Real Madrid fans are like, we were never bothered by their pressing. We were never bothered that they would be like a danger or whatever. My brother in Christ, your best player, your man of the match, was your goalkeeper. I will let you do the math, and I still feel like you won't be able to make it make sense. You can't be confident that you can't do anything at the end of the day. It's your keeper keeping you in the game. And our a little mistake on our sides, because you guys won no duels. We won all of them. You had to win on a lack of focus from one of the players. And credits to having one action and putting it in. That's what you said. And yeah, I don't want to stress on this. Will keep saying the same thing though, that win or lose, that's when you can differentiate support. Well, that's the thing. I've seen that in Twitter, like football Twitter. It's that people mocking Liverpool for celebrating the parade for 2 cups. First of all, the parade was already prepared, because you have to. You can't just storm the city if you win or not. So that's that. And second off, we still won 2 cups. And we stood until the very last day of the season on all fronts. Who else could say they did the same? It's fine if you want to fight for Europa League. It's fine. We are not the same. But the point is, that's how you differentiate loving your club and loving the success of a club. It's particularly in not winning absolutely everything, but having a magnificent journey where you are supporting a team the whole way through and enjoying the outcome, no matter what it is. And even this point is mostly tied to the affection that I have for this football team. But my point really is more about, to say the word point a bit too much here, the actual events outside of the stadium, which is going to be centered around one of the most corrupt associations. What do you call them? I think associations on earth, the EU, EFA. Yeah, I think it's associations, because I think the A is association. Yeah, one of the most corrupt, as we've known for years and years, and which is not much better than the Super League. It's just that they were pissed at it because they would lose out on their money. But anyway, my point is this. They lied after the match, or even during the match, saying that it was delayed because of fans being late. No, people did record it. And okay, to give you an aperçu, an overview of what happened, the match had to be delayed because there was a big kerfuffle outside of the stadium. There were not people were being amassed in small tunnels. People were being tear gassed by riot police that was there for whatever reason. Some locals, and I'm pretty sure some fans too, but mostly locals, without a ticket, were entering the stadium, were crossing the barriers and stuff like that, and actual fans who were waiting to get inside, who came there 2 hours prior to, couldn't get inside because there was such a big mess. The stadium didn't open enough turnstiles for tickets to be checked and people to be let to enter. Lot of bullshit. And on top of that, yes, being tear gassed when you're a proper fan coming to. A lot of them didn't even get into the stadium at all. Right. It's not even the first time that's happened in that stadium or in France. And it's not me trying to point out that France is not a good football country, because we know they are not. For Men's League. That's another point here. The point is how much, because people like to say that it's because Liverpool lost that. No, my dude, people were being assaulted by locals who started attacking them to rob them, or by the police. The police. Again, ACAB. I hate all cops. I think it should be abolished. Yes. But while you're still fucking there, you still have your duty to execute. We know that you don't serve us the people, but try to pretend, right? So, it's not really my issue. The UEFA and the local minister of what? Internal Affairs, something like that. Le ministre des Affaires Intérieures, which is, yeah, I don't know what's the equivalent here. came out to say that it was the fans who came in. 40,000 fans came in illegally without a ticket or with a fake ticket, just to blame the fans and not their lack of organization and their terrible response to what happened there. Pitiful. I know our country is fucked up, but look at that. Just look at that. Like, first of all, let's try to debunk these. You say that 40,000 tickets, fake tickets, were being introduced into the stade. Okay. For this to happen, someone debunked that on Twitter. For this to happen, you need to actually check in these 40,000 tickets. Get what I mean? Means that for me to know that that ticket is fake, I need to take it, check it on whatever machine or whatever system I have, and then be like, this is fake. 40,000 tickets when you had less than 10 turnstiles to get people in. If I remember the math correctly, a turnstile can accommodate, I think, 33 people per hour. How the fuck did you get to check and verify and confirm that these were 40,000 fake tickets? Simple math. You don't have enough time to check that many tickets. So how can you say that these were fake? Adding to this, on the fake stuff, Andy Robertson said it himself afterwards that he gave tickets to some of his friends and they were told that these were fake. Andy Robertson, the footballer who plays for Liverpool, who was playing in that cup final, which was a competition held by the UEFA, which actually creates all tickets. How pitiful of two instances would be a governmental official, a French official, and the UEFA to come out and say that the fans caused this. It's like, it goes beyond football. It's just like your sheer lack of incompetence and you're vile. Simply put, you're vile, because like you want to pin people for, particularly a club that has had an history with things like this, people being like stacked on top of each other, being held in small tunnels, being tear gassed, being assaulted at a match. I would think that people will try and be better, but hey, this is giving you too much leeway, isn't it? That was quite pitiful, and also all the media that was just like not checking and just repeating what these instances were saying to be done with it, because also it's easier to blame Liverpool, so much easier. But everyone hates us, which I'll be honest with you, I love it. But yeah, I don't want to drag on this because I know that a lot of people don't really care about football, so that's fine. But I think it's more like a human thing. Like, if you fuck up that bad, how can you fucking blame the victims on top of it? Piece of shit. But on the topic of pieces of shit, the second thing that happened this week, or past week rather, was something that was discovered. That people are getting tortured in our jails or getting tortured by our cops. More cops fucking up. Ours, Mauritius. And I've heard people say like, what the hell is happening? They think that like it's like foreign countries. You know, every time we say shit like this here, like what? People are starting, when people get shot in the streets, when you hear that there are guns on the streets and hardcore drugs, we're like, oh, what the fuck? It's foreign countries. As if we are shielded from these things. As if that can only happen elsewhere. And once again, that thing of people being like, yeah, Mauritius is such a shithole, I want to go outside. And then people say stuff like, why the fuck are they doing stuff that you only hear about in other countries? So you acknowledge that we have a lesser rate of like gun violence, or we have less hardcore drugs than these other countries, but you still think that these other countries are that much better. Interesting. So where I wanted to get with this is that, because let's get back to torture, the favorite thing for Guantanamo Bay. I think that's a human rights violation. I'm sure of that, and I heard someone say that they were deeply troubled by it. Someone in a good position to actually enact change about the police force say that they're troubled, they're deeply troubled You're fucking troubled. I'm just making value for you. You're confused. I'm fucking confused. Yes, you are troubled. You are the one being troubled. And the people being tortured. Fucking raises the question. I've been looking at a lot of like videos. It says about propaganda. Like propaganda about cops. Like the media. Like we have a lot of shows about the police. Most shows on TV are about the police, trying to paint them in a good enough light as if they're doing their job. And even when they're painted in a not so good light, it's more like to say that there are some of them who are bad, like The Shield. Very old show, a lot of you kids wouldn't know. But The Shield was all about that. There's a bunch of bad ones. But the overall thing is that it's good. I think that let's just use the allegory of like a basket of tomatoes. Once you have a few rotten ones, the load's gonna follow. You cannot reform this, you have to abolish it. You would think that it's just out there, and you know what? That thing of torture, I've heard about it. I've been told about it. But I've been told that mostly it's like when rich people are affected, that they make sure that, people don't do it again. But even these videos coming out, I'd like to remind you when the lockdown just started and there were a few raids by, I think, the SMF. Afterwards, some videos did leak of them torturing and beating up. I don't know, maybe you think that beating up is not torture? I guess like torture is to try and get something out of someone, but I feel like it's just assault anyway. So there were videos of that, people being beaten up. Because if I remember right, one cop got beaten up when they raided. I mean, yeah, it's bad. Of course it's bad. You want people to be punished, but like, again, I don't believe in our laws, but if you're going to have them in place, you cannot become judge, jury, and executioner, right? So I would like us to reflect on this. No, this is not church. After me saying something like, let's reflect together, let's hold hands, and let's start singing Kumbaya, my Lord. No, that's not that. My point is simply that. How can we let these things be a thing? Like, how can we just tolerate things like that? We know the police is bad. Did we know how, to what extent? I'm pretty sure that we all, like, I also feel weirded out by people being shocked by this. Are you surprised? I'm not. And you know what? It's also due to the fact that, and I was saying that to a friend yesterday, as much as I love Mauritius, I can't keep up with everything because at times I start getting into something or working on something and I kind of, not isolate myself. I don't want to be like, oh my God, you see how much of an artist I am, I have to take my time off. No. Times I get into something and I only focus on it. I think a lot of people will understand that. So when I get out of there, because I think I heard about that thing about torture a bit late, because we were just like at a family gathering and I just heard like my mom saying that to my grandma, like, did you see these videos? I was like, videos? What the fuck? I was just surprised. But not so surprised at the same time. Like I was surprised that I was that disconnected for a bit. But are we surprised? I think it was just like in the making, for us in the making, rather like in being unraveled, being made public at some point, which is now, instead of actually being something we had no idea about. And we do now. And now that we do, what are we going to do? Like people, like the cops are telling victims to come up with that. It's not the same thing again. It's like the Telegram episode last year. We investigated ourselves and found that we did nothing wrong. We're gonna trust the cops to fucking investigate the cops. Yeah. How does that make sense? So yeah, these frat boys should actually be punished by the law. Because the good thing is that they are not the law. They are, if anything, a reminder of the law in public. But they are not the law. It's not in their hands. It doesn't belong to them. They should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And we should stop tolerating things like this. Police should be abolished. Like, if you dream of becoming a policeman, I don't know, maybe when you were a kid, we were told that they uphold the law, they uphold society. They don't. They uphold the rich people, the government. They uphold people who can actually harm you, right? And on the side, they will help you once in a while, unless your husband is named Kisnan. But you get what I mean, right? Quite a week, wasn't it? From losing a final to being fucking electrocuted. Well, what can I say? So that happened. Adscast, in my feelings. Hey, welcome back again to the same old thing. Please don't see it as the same old thing. I appreciate you tuning in. It's nice to know that people are listening to you. So, welcome back. And as you're welcoming in back, I'd like to mention that for this week's In My Feelings, and about me not having a laptop, and I wanted to try something, not to be so scripted for once. I will say it honestly speaking, I think I write well, I think I can script well, but I think that I'm so much better improvising stuff. But the thing with improvising stuff is that I have a very short memory. A friend just told me, like, you see, I'm just being like losing track. I'm going on a tangent. I just do that. I just lose track of what I'm talking about. But yesterday, a friend just asked me if I wanted to do theater, if I like that. And I said, yeah, I would. Because I also think I'm pretty good. Good actor, to be honest. And if I say so, I may say so myself. But I have a terrible memory. So unless we're just like winging it. In this week's In My Feelings, I wanted to ask you guys if you have to be that homophobic. Yeah, you're not the right person for me to ask that to. If you listen to me, if you tune into my content, to start with, you don't listen to people like Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and Joe Rogan. That's a good start. You don't see these people actually having any value, adding any value to the world, which is just a fact. And I appreciate you for this. I love you for this. You are making the world better by not contributing to fucking assholes. But let's build on this. My point with this was that it came to me as in all the things I say are so sexual. It came to me as what I'm trying to say is not that. I'm not trying to make it sexy right now. Quite the opposite. What I'm trying to say is that do we need to be that homophobic as a people? And I know it's like that sentence, like I don't know if you guys have watched the Boondocks, which is an American cartoon animated TV show, I guess that would be the better terms, which is more about like black people. It's more like a black stories being told, but very funny one, more like satire of our world. And I love it, absolutely love it. But you know, it started I think in 2006 and was completed in 2015, yeah. So, you know, things have changed in the world, particularly for us in the black community, and even more so in the American black community. Things have changed. Things have evolved. People are less misogynistic, to a degree, not completely. And less homophobic, to a degree, not completely. And there was that recurrent joke where Riley is one of the two main characters, as Riley and Huey, who are twins, and Huey would be Malcolm X. Riley is a nigger. Like, I had to say that like this. Riley is what's wrong. No, it's not what's wrong with black people. Absolutely not. Because the notion of there's something wrong with black people has been created by white people. Riley is just that stereotype we're trying to move from. If I can try to salvage that sentence. And I guess it's a balance. Because, of course, I would see myself way more in Yui. But there's that recurrent theme, which is like, Riley would just see something that is gay and say, that's gay. And they would even say that it's not bad, but it's just gay. And that's the thing. By the last episode, I think that's the last episode of the show, the finale, where Riley doubles down just calling things gay, and he doesn't want to stop doing it. And it gets me to think that, is that necessary? As in, people have told me that, like, that's why it is. I'm going to call it that. Do you need to? And for this, I'm going to relate it to comedians who say that people get more and more offended. And I don't know, touchy about topics. Like it's hard to make comedy in this in the 21st century because everyone is so sensitive. I would like to say I think they are the ones being sensitive. Because the only difference between they still tell the same jokes. It's just that now we can tell them that we don't like them. Now we have Twitter. Now we have forums. Now we have access to say something back if you say something dumb. And most of the time it's just people being like, I don't like your content, I'm not gonna fuck with it. Which I would say should be allowed, right? Should be allowed to just tell people I don't fuck with what you're, and I don't want to see it. For example, Dave Chappelle, who was my idol in comedy. Oh, how I feel betrayed with how much of a transphobe he became. And it's mostly linked to him now being so fucking rich that he doesn't have to be relatable. And that's sad. But he's one of the people saying instead of talking about cancel culture, which is not a thing. Who's been cancelled? Who has actually been cancelled? Shane Dawson is saying that he's gonna come back and make new movies, new documentary, whatever the fuck he's gonna do. I don't care about what Shane Dawson does. He just, I think, had a kid. I'm so fucking sorry for that child. I never returned to YouTube, and that too. I'm like, who gets cancelled? Who actually gets cancelled? Louis C.K. got a Grammy last year. Who gets cancelled? The thing is more like, you say the shit that you want to say, we don't want to fuck with it now, and you are the one getting sensitive about this. You think people should still pay to come and see your shit and get offended by it. And my point related to this is something that Cat Williams said, is that if you need to use these as clutch to be funny, maybe work on some other material. I'm gonna relate this to me, because everything is related to me. I think it was in 2016, when a friend of mine was trying to say that they met someone who's great, and they tried to compare that person to me, to try and tell me, to try and sell me on that person, to say that person is incredible, smart, funny, witty. Look at me just wanking myself. And they added that person doesn't swear. And when my friend said that, I was like, oh, I do swear. I do actually swear a lot. I'm talking about Creole right now, like languages I speak in real life. Like, well, I speak English too. It's not the point I'm trying to make. When you swear in Creole, in your mother tongue rather, it's personal. When you do it in English, it's fucking like... That's an hypocritical thing to say. I know, but bear with me. My friend said that, and I was just thinking about this. Like, that sucks that I do that, because actually, at times I feel like, particularly in Creole, our swears, I guess in all languages, but yeah, you know that when we swear in Creole, when we try to make a joke and we swear in that, usually the joke is the swear. It's not so much, and or the slur that we'll be using. There's a slur for gays. So, you know, I feel like that's cheap, and that's not funny. It's not funny. It's just cheap. It's just something that you're going to use as a clutch to try and get yourself out of. It's okay. I won't go so far. Yeah, it's pathetic. So I told myself, let's try and challenge ourselves for once, because hey, I grew up fat, so I had to become funny to be interesting. I'm lucky that I managed to have a good funny, like the funny evolved with time. As much as I will say it homophobic when I was younger, I think I've moved on from that way past, right? Well, Pride Month is coming through. Whoa! What day is it today? Oh, 31st of May. All right. But when that will come out, yeah, it's already going to be June, so welcome to Pride. Oh my god, I didn't plan to actually make it like some topic on homophobia for Pride, but here we are. Plus, I had an ASMR for homophobes recently. Should check that out on my YouTube. Pretty fucking funny. I hope people understood what I was trying to do and not just be like, look at him making fun of gay people. I always do. The gays are funny. The gays are hilarious. You're not seeing what I'm doing with my hand right now, but okay. My point was, I wanted to challenge myself. Let's try and cut off that clutch, which was swearing and using slurs. and see if instead I can still be funny. And I'm very lucky, because I'm pretty fucking hilarious. 2016, so that was 4, 5, 6 years back. That I don't really swear, and it's got me to see that I can. But you use your brain more, and that's good. I think that's fucking good. And I keep getting told that, like, all right, let me try to wrap up the comedy thing. I think that's cheap to not try and make better jokes without trying to offend someone, because you're trying to attack people who already. Let's put it in an image way. It's a figurative way, all right? It's not literal, but you're attacking people who are already under you. You're hitting down. You're hitting below you. You're not hitting up. You're not attacking the rich whites. You're not attacking capitalism. You're not attacking the power structure. You're attacking people who are already suffering. You're attacking the oppressed, and they had enough. They already have enough of that. Yeah, you can be like, lighten up. Like, if they would make jokes, they can make jokes about their trauma and their troubles, because it's their trauma and their troubles. It's not yours. Just as a black person, I wouldn't let someone just make jokes about the black experience, because they have no fucking idea of what it is. I do. I do in the Mauritian sense of it. I do for the American sense of it, the international sense of it, through my consumption of media, but I haven't lived it as such. But I have an idea, and I can see how it's replicated here. But if you don't fucking know it, you shouldn't be getting to talk about it. You get my point? Why are you hitting a little below? Why are you attacking people who are already oppressed? Because now let's go back to, do we need to be that homophobic? Because, like, do we need to keep seeing stuff and labeling it as such? Like, having a big disdain for, this is too feminine for me. Who fucking cares? Because that was one of the topics of that ASMR video I did. The life of a queer person, actually doesn't concern you. Because if it's not someone you're gonna date, why should you be concerned? Why should you be involved in what they do? It's not gonna harm society. That's what you want to pin it as. It's not. Actually, you raise your kids. They don't raise your kids. You make your kid, unfortunately, as bigoted as you want to. Unfortunately, once again, sad for that child, but you get what I mean. Do we need to still pinpoint things as, wow, that's too gay for me. Wow, that's too feminine for me. Wow, that doesn't suit my perspective of the world. That's just being bigoted. There's nothing special in what you're doing. You're just being bigoted. Not funny, not witty, just bigoted. And it was my point. Do we need to be like this? Do we need to still live in the past like that? I get it, it was a norm back then. But now people are more vocal and things are changing. We all have cross paths with queer people. Like, I mean, as in, not we all then. You, the straights, you, the cis het, have cross paths with queer people, or have consumed queer content. I mean, you are right now. So, you can see that now it's becoming just the world we live in. I don't want to say it's becoming normal, because, like, what the fuck means normal, right? Normal is a term that homophobes use to say that people are not like them. But it's just the world we live in, where people are trying to. I can't say that the people are who they are now, because it's still a long journey. But people are trying to be who they actually are in public, living through it, with it, whatever you want to say. There's an attempt at making the world better, a better place for everyone. Why do you need to put barriers? Why do you need to be an obstacle to that? Why do you need to have your perspective be what people have to live through? Like, most of it would be, of course, religion, which fucking dumb. But I saw that on the MCR, you know, like, there's that thing that I do on TikTok, the Mauritius Confessions React. So I react to confessions that were posted on that page, Mauritius Confessions on Instagram. And there was one which was about all holy books ban sex before marriage, and yet everyone does it. Thoughts, starting with, I hate it when people just say something very fucking vague, and I do it too, but very fucking vague, and then are just like thoughts, as in, I'm not gonna give you my opinion, let's just see what yours is, and then I'll debate you over it. Shut up, to start with. But also, my answer to this one was, sex is real, religion isn't. Religion is the most man-made thing. Same thing when people say that it's not normal or not natural to be homosexual or queer in general. It's actually a natural thing. It's found in nature. It's found through animals. It's found through everything. Religion is not found in animals, in nature. Religion is not found. You don't see cows worshipping any deity. You don't see that. That's not a thing. So that's the funny thing about every argument against queerness can easily be debunked, but you're not really looking for it to be debunked. You're not really looking for it to be debated. You're just trying to cram your bigoted ass into our psyches. And it's so much more wretched because, you know, you're not actually attacking someone's beliefs. Like, my belief can be something like, I believe that, I don't know, I believe in the progress of AI. I believe that AI would be reaching a turning point by next year. I believe in that. Someone's identity, be it gender, be it sexuality, be it the identity, it's not something up for debate. You can't tell someone who wants to transition that, no, you're a dude, you were born a dude, you're always going to be that. Well, that's not the person I feel that I am. It's not the person I am and I want to be. That's just not it. You can't make these choices for people. You cannot argue with people over their identity. Like, one of the big things that people use against queer people is that pedophiles. You actually have more cases of people who consider and brand themselves as heterosexuals who commit these things. All right, you're gonna say when a man rapes, sexually assaults a young boy, it doesn't change the fact of the identity, right? It's them committing it. It's not all people who share a gender or a sexuality, is it? And the funny thing is, particularly in the US, you see that sex pests are mostly conservative people who believe in the Bible to that degree. The irony, you are the problem. Don't talk about natural, don't talk about normal. You are not that. You ain't shit. Alright, it's just me getting pissed now. I'm gonna roll back. Because the topic of, I'm most likely gonna, because I didn't name it prior, I just knew the topic. I think I'm gonna name it Don't Say Gay. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because there's something in the US about that. I think it's gonna be, do you have to be that homophobic? And or just welcome to Pride. I don't know. No, I should do something else for Pride Month. But maybe I'll have a little guest over. Someone wants to talk about homophobia. Let's go. Or maybe not homophobia. Let's rather like celebrate queerness. You know, we'll find a way. If someone wants to do that, hit me up. Hit my line. But yeah, I feel like we should be. That's the same thing as in when people tell me that, oh, they are old people. You have to understand they grew up in a different time. So it's normal if you're going to say things like which are racist or homophobic. They grew up when it was a normal thing. Then die. The world is still moving. Die. You cannot keep up. Die. You can't exist then. This world has gone way too far and fast for you. That's all right. That's okay. I understand it. You cannot keep up. Die. Disappear. You don't have a place anymore. You want to tell people that they don't have a place, but it's you who doesn't. We have to stop forgiving people or giving them a pass because they were raised in a different era or it was appropriate or right in their time. Because we're moving, all of us, at the same pace. We don't have a choice. That's how the world is going. So, if you're going to try to get people to go slower or actually to go back to the past, that's not going to go well. You should consider ending your life because you cannot live in a world where people are trying to be themselves and it doesn't have any impact on you. Holy shit, just stop picturing people kissing. Stop it. Stop it. You're making it weird. You're scaring the hose. And I hope that whole segment was not disjointed because I'm just improvising for once. And if it goes well, I'm going to keep doing that, like having a topic and then improvising. But man, you know that shit got me in my feelings. Adscast. Welcome to the internet. Have a look around. No, you should watch Bob Burnham's Inside. I think it's one of the best pieces of media ever created. It's just fucking incredible. If you've watched Bob Burnham's Inside, what's your favorite song, your favorite bit? Mine is definitely holy shit, how did I forget? It's a last song. How did I forget the title? Get on you say it's All Eyes on Me. Holy shit. That's also a Tupac song. How did I forget this? All Eyes on Me. It makes sense. It makes sense for me that it would be All Eyes on Me. All right. Now my job is to close the episode. So I should focus a bit. Thank you guys once again for being part of this. Thank you to the Patreon for actually believing in me to that degree that I want to commit and try to not let me live on the street. So there, you basically become sugar parents to me when you become a Patreon, and I love you so much for that, and you will definitely get some sugar. You know what? I should do like these rugby calendars. I should do one of these. I would sell for pretty good money, I feel. What do you think? Should I do one? I feel like it. Yo. So, thanks for being with me today. It's, again, I'm sorry if there's no video version, because no laptop and freaking dead. Thanks for sticking with the show, and thanks to the Patreon. A reminder that you can find my Patreon at patreon.com/adriencoosnapa, and you can commit as little as $3 a month, or and get different perks as it climbs up. And I am so grateful for you doing that, guys. These streets are hard, man. Life is hard, man. Like, I'm that close to starting prostitution. Not mine, but like... Thanks for tuning in. You can still consume my podcast on everything. And I'm very happy if you do so, because it helps, like numbers climbing up. But yeah, please do give me feedback about what you thought about the episode, and I'll be more than happy to, we work on this together, right? And when you become a Patreon, more so, you become a producer for the show. But thank you. It's been 9 weeks. Holy shit. 9? Was it? I should stop saying 9 like this. It's scaring the hose. Has it been 9? Adrien, you need to check real quick, and I'm checking real quick with another phone. So yes, it's 9. 9 and 9 and 9. That's a weird whole line. Okay, I'm not doing Nazi signs. Don't worry about this. All I want to say once again is that I'm very happy that you stick with me and you keep pushing me to be who I want to be better. I guess that's the message for... I should have closed In My Feelings with this instead, but I hope you stick that long to hear this. If you were bad, like let's make this clear. There are things like rape and murder which I think you cannot come back from. But no matter how bad you are right now, you can always die better. I always believe in that. I believe that for myself to start with. I want to constantly get better. I want to make a change. Don't we all? No, we don't. Not all of us want that. I can't just say don't we all. But thanks. You helped me dying better. Yo.